Hello there, my Gummy Knights, and welcome back to the Echo Chamber. Now, getting back into what if Goku achieved the Ikari state. When we last left off, the two groups that were on Namek that had been sent to Namek had decided to go their own separate ways. One in order to grab the Dragon Balls, and the other in order to see Guru. The groups being composed of one 3-man team and the other a 2-man team, with the 2-man team consisting of both Goku and Vegeta, and the 3-man team being comprised of Piccolo, Tien, and Yamcha. The trio managed to achieve their goal rather quickly. This is due to the advent of Piccolo having instant transmission. So once he gets in there, Guru is able to unlock the potentials for both Tien and Yamcha, but Piccolo ultimately denies this, his confidence basically being the main reason, and given the fact that since he had fused with Nail and does have Kaioken, his power was astronomically greater than what it normally would be, and therefore the reason for his overconfidence. And now the group awaits the arrival of Goku and Vegeta with the Dragon Balls, ultimately playing as bodyguards to Guru to try to prevent Frieza from killing him, as Guru is pretty much the only Namekian left who can indeed help them grant their wishes and does have access to the Dragon Balls, so they do indeed need him alive, preparing to intercept either groups when the time arrives. Meanwhile, back at Frieza's ship, both Goku and Vegeta prepare to square off with the entire Frieza army led by none other than Captain Ginyu, the last surviving member of the Ginyu Force. They ultimately gear up for battle, prepare to decide who's going to have the reins over the Dragon Balls. Will it be Frieza's forces or will it be both Goku and Vegeta? And with that recap out of the way, we'll be picking up with this part right now. Alright guys, and so as I pretty much alluded to the previous part, this battle between both Goku and Vegeta and the forces led by Ginyu is going to essentially be a wash in their favor. As the battle goes ahead and starts off, and none of the soldiers can do anything to Goku and Vegeta. They're just taking down soldiers essentially left and right, having absolutely no problem whatsoever dealing with any of the soldiers that are here. At this point, their power levels are just too astronomically high, and the same pretty much goes for Ginyu. Once he sees this, as they do indeed start to power up over the course of the battle, he realizes that both Goku and Vegeta are astronomically greater than what he expected them to be. Realizing that no matter how many bodies were thrown at them, they would be able to take them all down, and if Ginyu didn't do something quickly, he was going to lose the Dragon Balls. So Ginyu did try a few strategies here, mainly being hit and run tactics. Utilizing his maximum full power, he would essentially dash in while multiple soldiers were attacking Goku and Vegeta at once, but this didn't really work. Due to their ability to sense ki, they were able to pick out Ginyu rather easily, and every time he came forward, they would essentially knock him back. Mainly they were trying to go after him, while his Guru was trying to give his commands to the group in order to be able to try to flank them and stop them from approaching him. Realizing that no matter what tactic he did, there was never going to be a way that he can get past their overwhelming power, he decided to go with his last resort, that of course being the body change technique. And so Ginyu sought another distracting tactic by laughing maniacally out loud, his laugh overwhelming the battlefield in regards to everyone beginning to pay attention to him. With the distraction successful, he decided to stab himself right in the chest, damaging his body. This shocked pretty much everyone on the battlefield, but Ginyu screams out quickly to his men for them to grab hold of both Goku and Vegeta, and with the momentary distraction, they ultimately do. With Ginyu utilizing that momentary lapse to rush over to Goku immediately and do the body change, successfully getting it off. And the reason why he picked Goku was, well, really obvious. Goku is massively stronger than Vegeta right here, and in regards to Goku's base form, it's massively even stronger than what he used when he powered up to Kaioken times 2, when he was showing off his initial power of coming up to 180,000. Keep in mind, Goku's base power is even above Frieza's first form, and he successfully managed to get it off, taking over Goku's body. Vegeta, who's at a loss for words, doesn't want to get caught by whatever technique that was, as it seemed to have done something weird to Goku. He has no idea that they switch bodies at this moment, but decides to do a super explosive way, blowing all the other men off, heading right towards Ginyu, only for him to scream out, "No, Vegeta, don't attack me!" screaming at the top of his lungs that it was him, Goku. However, that didn't matter, as Vegeta didn't get the message in time, ultimately striking Ginyu, or who he thought was Ginyu, directly towards the ground, pretty much knocking him out temporarily. With Vegeta now looking dumbfounded and puzzled, as the last thing he heard from this supposed Ginyu was him saying that he was none other than Kakarot. Of course, this gave the real Ginyu, who was now in Goku's body, ample time to do a sneak attack on Vegeta and knock him towards the ground. Keep in mind that Ginyu, when he gets into another person's body, does start off, I would say, around their maximum power level. but gradually gets weaker over time. And so that is just to say that Vegeta has absolutely no chance here, as he starts getting wailed on repeatedly, getting knocked back and forth by Ginyu, with Vegeta understanding that if he doesn't do something quick, there's no way that him or Goku are going to survive. So deciding to take drastic measures, Vegeta does a smokescreen, essentially grabbing Ginyu's body and running away, lowering his power level in order to avoid detection by the scouters. And the only reason why he picks up Ginyu's body is because, like I said, he did register the message later and does want to try to confirm to see if that was true. So fleeing away from the battlefield, he ends up making a beeline towards Frieza's ship itself, going inside. Vegeta then helps restore Ginyu, or Goku, who's inside Ginyu's body, back to consciousness. Vegeta then threatens him that if he doesn't start talking and tell him exactly what's going on, he's going to blast him away. Goku, having been groggy at first, immediately becomes alert and tells Vegeta to hold on, that he doesn't know what happened, but it's actually him, it's Goku. For some reason, they switch bodies, him and Ginyu. Vegeta hesitates at first, not really believing him 100%, but that is until Goku relays information to Vegeta that only he would know. Information that at no point in time Ginyu would have had privy knowledge to. Vegeta, now seeing that it is indeed the truth that both Ginyu and Goku have switched bodies, curses under his breath, and is now at a loss for words as to what they do next. Even Goku is lost because he didn't expect this to happen. On top of both of them now being severely injured, Goku also notes that it wouldn't matter if they were at 100% full power, because neither of them can take him on. He's just too strong. Vegeta curses again under his breath, not wanting to admit that Kakarot was right, but he knew it all too well to be true. However, they don't really get to dwell much on this, as a bunch of soldiers begin combing around through the ship. Sensing rapid amounts of power levels coming through the ship, they immediately run and hide. And essentially that's what the game becomes, a game of cat and mouse, where Vegeta and Goku are hiding, trying to come up with a strategy in order to take his body back, and Ginyu's forces trying to hunt them down and kill them. Ginyu himself was still outside, having not gone into the ship. This is due to the fact that after Vegeta's smokescreen, once the smoke indeed was clear, he basically told his men to go and find them, and immediately rushed over to where the Dragon Balls were buried, as they were buried outside. Digging them up, he wanted to make sure that they were all there, and that Vegeta's little stunt didn't ultimately have him stealing the Dragon Balls and running away. With him seeing that they were all still there, he elected himself to remain outside to be the ultimate bodyguard of them, while his men did all the searching through the ship. Him noting to himself that this was fine, as any signs of battle and struggle, he could get there immediately and just handle both. Still being aware that no matter what, their ultimate goal was obviously to come for the Dragon Balls. Thinking to himself that no matter what, they would not be able to get through him. Unbeknownst to Ginyu, however, his power began to drop rapidly. This was not something that he could detect or sense himself, but it would be something that would ultimately benefit both Goku and Vegeta, as due to the fact that since Ginyu did not have full control over Goku's body, his power would ultimately once again be decreasing, and it started doing that rapidly. Vegeta and Goku were still running around the ship, trying to take out as many Frieza soldiers as discreetly as they could, trying to conserve as much energy as possible. Again, due to their injuries, they had taken a huge hit to their power, with Goku bringing up the fact that he actually had a couple more senzu beans left inside of one of his wristbands, and that maybe if they could grab that, but immediately perishes the thought, realizing that it probably wouldn't make that much of a difference, with Vegeta pointing out that that actually might not be true, going on to explain to Goku the nature of Saiyan's evolution and power, and talking about the Zenkai boost, saying that if he had a chance to get another one of those senzu beans and heal himself up, he just might be able to overcome Ginyu, knowing to Goku that it's not like it mattered anyway, given the fact that that was their only best chance, and that anything was better than nothing. The question still remained of how do they get those senzu beans in the first place, but they decided that they would give it everything that they got. No matter what happened, they know that they tried their best. Vegeta sneered at this, not wanting to give in to what he saw as a defeatist attitude, thinking to himself that no matter what, he was going to survive, and he was going to surpass not only Ginyu, but also Kakarot, and ultimately be the one to defeat Frieza. And that his destiny was not to die on this mud ball. With Goku sensing out where Ginyu's location was, preparing to head over there, something caught him off guard. He knows that he couldn't believe it, but Ginyu's power has dropped dramatically since they started this, with Vegeta exclaiming, "What and how was that possible?" Goku at first thought that maybe Ginyu knew how to suppress his own power, and maybe that was it. But this idea was actually quickly dismissed, given the fact that none of them had seen that Ginyu knew how to control his power in that way whatsoever. The two men ultimately deducing and coming to the right conclusion that it was because that Ginyu had no idea how to utilize Goku's body. And that ultimately, because he did not know how to use Goku's body, he could not access the full range of his power. And so he probably didn't even know that he had rapidly decreased from where he was before, otherwise he would have come rushing after them. Another thing that puts a nail in the coffin for the idea that he was suppressing himself. Either way, this elates both men, as they knew that they actually had a chance. So flying straight up and out of Frieza's ship, they give alert to all the guards to let them know exactly where their location is. But once they get out of the ship, both Goku and Vegeta power up a simultaneous blast and aim it towards the ship, completely incinerating it and killing all the remaining of the Frieza soldiers. As although their powers had took an initial hit, they were still massively stronger than any one of the Frieza soldiers individually. Ginyu is alerted to this, having seen the huge explosion, and decided to fly over there, only to be met with both Goku and Vegeta heading over towards his direction. He's ready to engage with them and puts a devilish smile on his face as they begin to tussle with each other. But unfortunately for Ginyu, he realized too late, as when he tried to throw a punch at Vegeta, he notices that it was actually dodge. Realizing that he was speed blitzing Vegeta before, he had no idea what happened. He could not understand how this was possible. He should have been easily able to tag Vegeta and overcome him. Not paying attention and being distracted by this fact, he gets a giant hammer fist slammed directly into the back of his head, knocking him towards the ground by none other than Goku inside of his body. Realizing that actually hurt, he was confused as to what was going on, as when he registered his power on his scouter before it exploded, he had clocked Goku somewhere over the 500,000 range. And don't worry guys, for all of you who want to know exactly what the power levels are, they're going to be up on screen. Again, Goku and Vegeta did take a hit, but their power is still within the range of Ginyu, with Goku actually being slightly stronger while in Ginyu's body. But because the margin of difference is negligible, neither side has an advantage over the other, even with the slight differences in power. However, this did confirm both Goku and Vegeta's suspicions about Ginyu's power, and with that, they begin to attack relentlessly for as much as they can. Ginyu does try to put up a fight, but he's quickly losing ground, as Ginyu's power would ultimately still be dropping. However, due to the injuries that both Goku and Vegeta had suffered, he still manages to stay inside of the game, overcoming the two individually at some points in the battle. Essentially, at this point, he's trying to run away and gain his bearings, trying to understand what the hell happened and why is his power ever so dropping. Using one of the new scouters that he got from a subordinate while he was here, he registers his power and realizes that it had dropped even further, going from 100,000 all the way down to 95,000. He was completely confounded and confused and couldn't believe that this was happening, screaming at the top of his lungs that it was impossible. However, that momentary stop would ultimately cost him, as he got a punch from Goku directly into the face before Goku then put him inside of a full Nelson, suspending Ginyu inside of the air, with his arms raised up, and this left an opening for Vegeta to hit him with a thunderous gut check. And as whereas that didn't do super amounts of damage to Ginyu, it was something that he did indeed fail. And now realizing that he was at a disadvantage and that this could be the end, he screamed out in a burst of anger and rage, letting his power flood through, temporarily restoring his higher power levels. And using that momentum, he headbutts Goku, using the back of his head, and does a spin kick, knocking Vegeta straight into the ground. He then turns and aims his next assault towards Goku, who is still dazed up in the air, hitting him with a 4-piece combo, 2 hook punches to the face, a thunderous knee to his gut, and then a double axe handle, slamming him down towards Vegeta. After that assault, he began to breathe heavy, noting to himself now that he thinks he figured out the problem. It's because he wasn't used to Goku's body, and therefore, recognizing that there are strategies in order to gain back that strength, he wants to utilize them to hurry up and finish off these two before they could do anything to him. However, he would not get the chance, as once the smoke cleared from the two craters, a tremendous power is let off. This being none other than Vegeta. This completely dumbfounds Ginyu, as he has no idea how Vegeta managed to restore himself. He was thinking that he was near death. Especially after that last attack, there's no way he could have been healed to 100%. Unbeknownst to him, Goku did manage in that exchange to grab his wristband off of his own body, taking the two senzu beans with him, and then handing both to Vegeta, with Vegeta taking one and putting the other one inside of his glove for safekeeping. Vegeta is now not only restored to his full power, but to even greater magnitudes than he was before, and begins to unleash a world of hurt on Ginyu, beating him up over and over again. And essentially, the situation is kind of go the similar way that it did in canon. Ginyu's going to get a beatdown, essentially play possum, and try to bait Vegeta into an attack, for which he tries to change bodies with. But Goku, instead of actually trying to fly over there, considering that he was too far away at the time, he decides to use one of his techniques, as whereas he may lost access to the majority of his techniques being inside Ginyu's body, there was still one technique that was a universal technique that you could essentially use no matter who you were, that being the instant transmission, and so Goku uses that in order to teleport over there, getting there instantly, and of course taking his body back. Vegeta, realizing that he almost got caught slipping, doesn't even give Ginyu the chance, and pretty much destroys him after that. Handing over the leftover senzu bean to Goku, he ends up of course making a full recovery, and getting a Zenkai boost. And with that, both Goku and Vegeta pick up the Dragon Balls, and teleport over there towards Guru. With the group all back together, will they be able to achieve their goal in resurrecting their friends, or will Frieza be the ultimate hindrance that stops their plans from going forward? And we will answer that question next time. Alright, my Gummy Knights, and that was the end right there. Now, I know you guys probably heard it. I tried to keep it out as much as possible, but if my voice sounds a little bit hoarse, it's only because that I'm currently sick. And so I'm recording this while being sick, so I tried to keep it out as much as possible because I was coughing and sneezing pretty much throughout the entirety of the recording. Hopefully everything got through okay, and I hope you guys did like this part, and of course do all the YouTube things. Everything's going to get crazy next part because we're pretty much going to go straight into the finale next part, so it's going to be a long one. However, it's going to be great, and I hope you guys do love it, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.